Battle control initialized.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Red Alert Global League Season 9, Minions Round 2. In the upper left-hand corner, we have Sigil playing as Russia. And in the lower right-hand corner, we have Fist Nipples playing as Germany. Let's go to the production tab. And it looks like Fist Nipples has about a half-second lead in deployment of his barracks. We're going to see what he does with that. Total of 4 oil derricks on the map. They're all concentrated at the center of the map. And lots of... actually, yeah, 4. Right, okay. Lots of room for expansion and a slightly congested center of the map, as a lot of the RAGL maps are. Sigil with good coverage all over the map. He's out first with it. Well, no, he's not out first with an engineer. Looks like Fist Nipples, aka Moods, is going to be the first one to capture an oil derrick. Sigil's gonna go take a look. Hello. Sigil with scouts across the field, trying to get a bead on Moods' location. And both players moving to capture their second oil derrick. Fist Nipples might be microing his harvesters right now. He's got an income advantage right off the bat. Just about even in army value, and Moods, aka Fist Nipples, is... Alright, I'll stop doing that. It's about 40 actions per minute, and Sigil is at about 11, but it's pretty early in the game. I'm not going to fault anybody for being a little slow. What do we got brewing on the production tab, boss? Alright, we got dual refinery build, double ref build from each player, and Sigil is pulling his engineer smartly back into the center of the base. Moods with plenty of guards around the base, and really anticipating that Russian grenadier strike. Both players, good scouting. Moods is going to come out with a light tank. No ranger, just a light tank. And Sigil is going to be coming out with a flak truck. The light tank, always a good counter to the flak truck. We got a sizable army brewing from both players, not wasting any time in getting the action on. Both players relatively even in actions per minute, 23.4 to 36.3. And we got some scouting going on and some poking going on from Moods, trying to take out that oil derrick, just harassing Sigil and forcing him to respond. Walks right into some... Oh, walks right into those rocket troopers there. Both players coming out with their service depot. Sigil sitting on his for just a second. And Moods is going to be out first by about 6 seconds with his MCV. And if I had to pick one, I would pick the flak truck because it's got longer range. It's got better... Does it have better line of sight? I'm not sure. But anyway, seems to be a little bit more effective against infantry. Also when used in combination with infantry. The light tank just doesn't have a lot of armor. The light tank is a good counter to the flak truck, but saw Sigil there taking out one of Moods' oil derricks. That's going to be reflected in the income pretty quickly. Yep. Moods is up by... Well, he's up by about 500. There's first expansion out from Moods. About to lose his second oil derrick. And Sigil avoiding the explosion radius from the oil derrick. Moods is going to drop an economic expansion, drops a pillbox, and loses that flak truck. That's unfortunate. Moods out with his first heavy tank, 20 seconds until the second one appears. But his army is being driven back by that larger force. Line of sight disadvantage, tries to hold the line. And that's a mistake right there. Really should have kept retreating. He could have saved that army, but instead he lost everything. He's going to lose this heavy tank too if he keeps advancing. Decides to pull back. And the Allies able to heal in the field. That's a big advantage. Especially when you're taking in stationary position far off in the line. He's going to lose a lot of troops here, Sigil. Oh, and there goes Sigil's derrick. Sigil with still control of the only derrick that's been captured on the field. Moods with a big force heading towards Sigil's base. Sigil doesn't have an answer for this. We might see good game right now. Sigil doesn't pull his harvester. And enemy troops surrounding Sigil's base. Deploying flame towers. And looks like Sigil is going to lose his service depot. There it goes. Moods pulling his army back. Another army on its way. Sigil with greater army value than Moods, but... well... that's not all that matters. And the final oil derrick of Sigil going down. Sigil trying to regroup. Drive back the forces of Moods off of his first expansion. Sigil rebuilding his service depot. And about to eco up. Still ahead in income, both players on 5 harvesters. Totally missed this engagement. Sigil attacking with a small force into the eco lines, claims a harvester. And Moods is up there looking for one of Sigil's expansions, not finding it. And I hope Sig is going to repair that APC. Sigil still with a $7,000 advantage in army value. Moods moving out his first expansion MCV, about to take his second expansion. Sigil already on his second expansion. Now with good control of the center of the map, but leaving his flank open. And it looks like Moods has the opportunity to attack through the same vector. Sigil moving in on Moods' main base. And Sigil with the tank flank. Some eco-harassment brewing. Using that APC to scout. And driving his tanks deep into the enemy lines, finding decent crushes. And totally decimating the army of Moods. Killing a harvester. And not concentrating on the MCV. Lets it get away. I think Sigil is more concerned with just generally maintaining field control than he is about, you know, destroying material. It looked like the game might have been over for Sigil, but he held on and lost some structures in his base, lost his service depot, but really concentrated on field control and seemed to have kept his cool and continued expanding. He's got some idle tanks over there. And he's going to sound the retreat on this one, maintaining an army advantage of nearly 16,000. Well, I can't do math. No, it's more like 14,000. Way ahead in income. 12,000 income to 5,000. And Sigil has gone radar tech. Alright, Sigil's army is in a bad position. That's not a good concave. But I think Moods is maybe a little shaken up. Maybe. Sigil on 8 harvesters to Moods' 7. Ahead in income, ahead in army value. And both players about even in actions per minute. Sigil with aircraft on the field, giving him line of sight, developing a huge army at his second expansion base. Moods still on his second expansion as well, just doesn't have the same income. Catching up quickly though, closing the gap. And that was a taunt. He's going to lose that aircraft. Loses the aircraft, loses line of sight, and Sigil's troops are in a poor concave position. Defending a stationary formation, trading well despite that. Taking out the tanks, driving Moods' army back. And Sigil is ready to attack with his second army onto the main base of Moods. Second wave of attack from Moods. Moving into a static formation, Sigil with his tanks out of position. Not trading super well this time. Moods comes out with his third expansion. Sigil arguably also on his third expansion, ahead by 1 harvester. Moods scouting the base, sees that there's not a lot there. I think he might continue pressing through. Using the spy plane. And gets a good bead on the rest of the army there. That APC finding excellent crushes. Moods calling it good game at 13 minutes 50 seconds. Very interesting match we had today, folks. 703 to 479. I thought it might have been over for Sigil at the very beginning, but he really held on there and continued expanding. Put out 2 more expansions while he was under attack. And, yeah, just kept on the offensive, rallied his troops, and used the line of sight advantage from the base, which is a big deal. So, game number 1 going to Sigil, on to game number 2. Whoops, let's go to the ecograph. Alright. Both players even until about minute 2, and then Moods losing a oil derrick Sigil losing an oil derrick. Both players ecoing up at about the same rate. Let's go over to the army graph. You can see this battle event here. And Moods got ahead, but moved into a static formation where he just didn't trade well. And that happened a few times. Sigil with a massive army force just able to take out and you know, well, anyway, let's go on to game number 2.
Battle control terminate. Battle control initialized.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Red Alert Global League Season 9 Minions Round 2. In the upper right-hand corner, we have Sigil playing as Russia. And in the lower left-hand corner, we have Moods playing as Germany. Same teams as last time. Let's go to the production tab. And Sigil, solid 2.5 ahead of Moods in build and deployment of his barracks. He's going to have field control first on Shadow Field, a map that has been banned by a few players. Each player gets to choose a map that they will not play on. And there's pretty much a natural oil derrick in the backyard of each base, a total of 5 oil derricks on this map. The center of the map being so important to control, so difficult to advance into this area with all the tree cover. And Sigil moving towards the left side of the map, trying to intercept Moods' engineer. Both players going for their natural derrick. Sigil sitting on his engineer for a few seconds there. And Moods is the first one to capture an oil derrick. That's going to be reflected in his income soon. Sigil ahead in income briefly. Well, not telling enough, is it? Now behind in income because of the oil derrick capture, and neither player moving towards the center of the map. Moods might check it out. Rather, Sigil might move towards the center of the map there. And, oh geez, Sigil. Oh, Sigil losing his engineer. Engineer leading the way and taking all that fire from the riflemen. Moods is going to be ahead by 2 oil derricks. And Sigil's on the warpath now, looking for the snipe on Moods' engineer. Moods built 2 engineers. That's very interesting. That's $1,000 invested in engineers in the first 2 minutes of the game. And the line of sight advantage by that oil derrick, providing Moods with the advantage. And Sig might lose another engineer here. Pulls him back. Good move. Both players going double ref. Sigil out with an APC this time. Moods sticking to the trusty light tank. Wow, and good crushes. Intercepts that engineer, but not in time. Fist Nipples, aka Moods, with control of the only oil derricks to be captured, 4 of them now. And that light tank basically impervious to machine gun fire. Sigil trying to retake that oil derrick. The light tank versus an APC. The light tank will win all day, every day. But with those rocket troopers in there, it doesn't look good for this Moods' attack. Rockets find good hits. Take him out quick. Moods out first with a service depot. Sigil not far behind, 4 seconds behind in the production of his MCV. bring that APC out of position. Backup riflemen on their way. He's got to watch out for that rocket trooper in there. Both players on 5 harvesters, but Moods with control of 4 of the 5 oil derricks on the map. Sigil with control of 1 of those oil derricks. And Moods slightly ahead in actions per minute. Both players introducing heavy armor to the field. And almost even in army value as well. This is going to be an offensive rally point from Sigil. Both players deploying barracks on their first expansion. Oof. Loses that APC. No more armor right now for Sigil. A heavy tank on the way. And Moods very hesitant to advance through the woods. He's got line of sight advantage. But getting caught in the woods like that just really pushes your troops into a conga line and makes them easy pickings. Sigil trying to find a concave in that mess of a forest in the center of the map, pulls back his heavy tanks and sounds the retreat for the rest of his army. Moods on the offensive. Sigil not pulling back his engineer. Second engineer of the game goes down. That's really unfortunate. Flame towers trading well. Lots of rocket troopers though. And a more dedicated anti-structure force there from Sigil. The combination of rocket troopers built in. They're going to take out that oil derrick pretty quick. Moods ahead in army value by about 2,000. Comes out with his first eco expansion. Both players eco sliding. And Moods being a little bit more aggressive in that eco slide. Moods is down to 2 oil derricks, both players on 6 harvesters. Sigil retaining his 1 oil derrick, but possibly not for long. Moods really wants to hold on to that last 2 derricks there. Sigil's down to 0 derricks, but he's got the harvester advantage. Sigil moving out his first expansion MCV. Moods still being a little static, despite having good field presence. Looking for a flank on main. And Sigil trying to attack with flame troopers. Trading well for the army value. Sigil looking for his second expansion. And Sigil has good eyes on the field. He knows this attack is coming. Does he? I don't... Oh, he didn't see it. Moods attacking through the ore field. Kills a harvester. And we'll see how bad this turns out. Sigil has got absolutely nothing back at his main base, not expecting a flank. And Moods not making the same mistake last time, going right for that MCV. Kills it. And now all he's got to do is hold this position, but with line of sight disadvantage, no armor left, he's going to sound the retreat. Devastating blow for Sigil. Has to pull his main army. and nothing at his first expansion. Second expansion being captured by an engineer. And I don't want to call it too early, but... well, I won't call it too early. Another harvester down. Another harvester down. Sigil is down to 4 harvesters now. Being attacked on multiple fronts. Pushes back the... well, actually, he didn't push that back. Moods pulls back his engineer. Lives to fight another day. Moods with a huge army advantage now. 20,000 to 5,600. And Moods' army is just walking the field. Sigil pulling his harvesters, trying to tank with something. A beautiful concave from Moods. Tanks moving in. Sigil calling good game at 10 minutes and 31 seconds. 595 to 297. Let's go to the ecograph. Both players relatively even until about minute 2. And, you know, I hate to say it, but as soon as Moods got the advantage with those oil derricks, he had 4 of them at one point, and Sigil only had 1. So, you know, that's a lot of income. And what that allows you to do is eco up. Moods ends the game with 2 expansions, both of which production capable. He's got a barracks up here. He's got 3 barracks in a war factory down here. So he just continued scaling up and up and up. Sigil just not able to gain a foothold on this game, making a grave error early on with his engineer. Really, I wish he had just gone for the center because he had field presence at one point. And he really could have taken this position and held this position on shadow field that is so important. And you saw Moods with the line of sight advantage despite the tree line, able to find a flank and trade well in, well, I believe it was this battle here, around 6 minutes. And, yeah, I mean, the oil derricks really made it. I mean, 5 oil derricks on shadow field. It is so important to go after them. Moods committed early with building 2 engineers right off the bat. One of them went north, one of them went east, and yeah, I mean, he's still got 2 oil derricks at the end of the game with no other derricks remaining on the field. So, one game going to Sigil, the other game going to Moods. Red Alert Global League, Season 9, Minions, Round 2.
Battle control terminated.